All right. All right. So I'm not going to hold you for too long. You guys already have plenty of videos that just uploaded on your timeline, flooding your tech timelines with all the news of AMD and their announcement of the 7900X and the 7900XTX, I believe that is. I'm going to skip most of the highlights here because they had a lot of talk here, but it seems Scott was the one that really gave us the details that we really wanted, right? We really want to know about the card. We wanted to know about the performance. We wanted to know about the pricing. He was the one to give us most of that. Lisa Su kind of took a back seat on this occasion. She was there at the beginning, and then she let the rest of the team kind of take the reins on this one, which that was going to happen eventually. She's been a main speaker for the bulk of these announcements. It's time to let the team take over and talk all that jazz. So now coming into my laptop here where we have the first screen, I'm gonna pull directly from the stream here, directly from the announcements of video, and right here they're talking about the RDNA 3 pushing 61 teraflops, 5.3 terabytes. The chip with the world's fastest chip interconnect, the world's fastest chiplet interconnect, because this is a chiplet design. And as you can see, the actual design is actually right there on the screen as well. And then it says 24 gigs of memory, which is awesome. Of course, the 58 billion transistors. The 58 billion transistors is just sort of a fluff kind of data. Most chiplets, especially advanced chips these days, no matter what their process or what they intend to do, has billions of transistors. I'm not sure why that's such an important metric to leave up there. And we don't really care about most of that. All we care about is starting with this. How does the card look? The card looks exactly like we saw in the leaks. Pretty much, we pretty much knew exactly how the card was going to look before it even came out, and they did not disappoint. It looks just like that. The 7900XTX has a much darker frame, while the 7900XT has a more of a gray kind of a casing on it when it comes to the actual design. And I like the design. The stock designs look really good. I like the previous generation stock designs as well. So I'm not wasn't too surprised or anything. I'm glad that it kind of looked the way it's supposed to look, and they didn't take it too far out of the box. And of course, leave it to the AIBs to really push that envelope when it comes to the look of this card whenever they release, which is probably going to be around the same time as AMD is going to release theirs, which we already know is going to be December 13th. We have that date. One thing that was really weird, not so much weird, but it was really interesting, is that they talked a lot about 8K gaming. The reason I found this interesting is because when we talk about the pricing for these cards, it's not necessarily, you pretty much get the idea that these cards are not really meant to be pushed to that limit. But according to AMD, if you combine the power that is in these cards with the new FSR technology, which is not even out yet, FSR 3.0, where they talked a little bit about that, it won't even be released until next year. But combining combining the 7000 series cards, the 7900 series cards with FSR will give you a good 8K gaming performance. And I don't know how many people are buying AMD who intend to play 8K. Heck, I don't even know how many people who bought the 4090 actually intends to play 8K gaming. Yeah, sure, it looks great when LTT does it on their videos, but in real world, those displays are incredibly expensive, and they really don't give much back for the money that you pay for them. So I'm not sure why this matters, but AMD pretty much want to set themselves up for what they will call future proofing, pretty much, to make sure that this card will last you for years and years. So if the display technology does come down in price, assumingly you wouldn't have to go buy a new card. You'll be able to just keep on gaming with your 7900XT or 7900XTX and not have to worry about it at all. And that's good. That's from that standpoint, I do understand. But at the same time, I don't know, that seemed kind of like filler to me at this point. Benchmarks, the real benchmarks, when reviewers will tell whoever the hell is actually going to benchmark this at 8K, which I guess is going to be LTT. More stuff that they were talking about, which is the software side of things, or the benchmark side of things, which there was not a lot of benchmarks. Remember what I said before, that benchmarks coming from announcements, no matter whether it's NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, whoever, these benchmarks are kind of curated to showcase the power of their hardware. They're not the real benchmarks that you want to see, like reviewers would do, putting apples to apples, putting competitor, putting head to head the competition against each other, see who actually is the strongest, who actually is the fastest. They did not actually benchmark the card against any of NVIDIA's cards, which at this rate is not such a bad thing, because the thing is, NVIDIA came out the gate with such a high price point. Yes, I know we're talking about the price again, but hold on. They came out the gate at such a high price point, and AMD is down here. So both the 4080 and the 4090 are up above $1,000, where AMD's cards are 1,000 and below, 1,900 to be exact. We're gonna get back to that. So it wouldn't really be a true apples to apples in that sense. You would have to compare these cards to the previous generation RTX 3000 series cards to really compare if we're talking about price to performance, which is really weird thing to say. It's a weird position that AMD is in right now, thanks to how NVIDIA decided to sell the 4000 series cards, the 4090 and the 4080. The talk of the actual size of the cards, yeah, it's fine that pretty much the cards are almost the same size, but yet they get more power. So you're getting a card that is not going to need a whole new case to fit it in. You're getting a card that you're not going to need a new power supply to use. You're getting a card that you're not going to need a new adapter for, but the 7900 XT and XTX cards are still a major upgrade over an AMD beyond the 6950 XT. So you're getting a card that are stronger than the 6950 XT, which is AMD's strongest card in this current generation before December 13th. That's pretty damn huge. For a lot of people, that is awesome. Now, one thing besides the 8K thing that they kept touting, they also wanted to showcase, or they wanted to premiere Samsung's Odyssey Neo G9. I will tell you right now, at AMD, you don't watch these videos. I'm not that big. But as far as anyone who does watch these videos, this nonsense is not a flex. No, this was not as great a thing as they thought it was. Samsung has a terrible reputation when it comes to the Odyssey Neo series and the G9 monitors. If you look at other reviewers online, plenty of people have had issues with these monitors, quality issues with these monitors. Some people have went to 2, 3, 4 different iterations, RMAing constantly these monitors. So I really hope that this particular new monitor that Samsung's coming out with, the Odyssey G9, the first 8K ultra wide, whatever, is actually going to be a good monitor. It's actually going to be quality. It's not going to have people stuck in RMA like their last 2 iterations did. And so this was not the flex that that they were hoping for. I did not want to see this, but hopefully it's good. That's all I can say. I know it's going to be expensive as hell. You might as well chop off your balls to get this thing. Pause. But this, yeah, it wasn't that big a flex. They talked a lot about the 1440p game, which looks amazing. Pushing even the limits of DisplayPort 2.1, it seems, going to 900 hertz at 1440p. I'm a 1440p gamer, so this looked just like candy to me. It's like this looks amazing. And of course the 4K and the 8K also pushing awesome levels. I do not see you're getting this kind of performance raw out of the card. You're probably going to get this performance when combined with FSR, just like with the 4090 really shines when you combine it with the new DLSS. This is going to be the same for AMD when it comes to FSR. So a lot of these numbers that you're seeing as a lot of benchmarks and all that is pretty much their way of saying that just like NVIDIA shines with their technology and software, they're going to get the most out of this card combined with the software. And as far as the raw numbers without using upscaling, that's probably going to be a very different story. We're going to have to wait for the reviews to see exactly how that goes. More games have FX super resolution. That's great and all that. Let's skip past the bulk of this, more 8K gaming stuff and all that. And some benchmarks at FSR, some did not. What we want to see is right here. Oh, dude's head is right in the way of my darn screen grab. Ain't that something? Let me see this real quick. And we're just gonna play and pause this. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay, so here we have the full thing. December 13th. Set that date if you really want these cards. set that date, make sure your bank account is ready, your credit cards are ready, your Best Buy cards are ready. If you're shopping at Best Buy like I do sometimes, then that is the date that you can get it. And you'll be able to get the 7900XTX for $999. Just call it $1,000. I don't know what the... So $1,000 is probably going to be closer to $1,100 with the tax including all that, depending on where you live. And if you're in the United States, you might as well call it, definitely call it $1,100 purchase. And for the 7900XT, $900. Again, a little bit more than $900 when it's all said and done, as far as the grand total goes. And this is where the genius of all this comes in. So AMD was looking to cut prices. They're looking to lower the cost to build the card while still upping the performance so that they can keep the same price as the previous generation. And they succeeded. And this was the real kick to the nuts for NVIDIA, as far as, the below the belt shot pretty much, because NVIDIA went high, AMD went low. And I think that's really going to pay off for them, because as far as their core audience is concerned and the bulk of people, of gamers, as far as gamers is concerned, this is what we wanted to see. They gave us more of the same from the previous generation. Nothing new, nothing fancy, no new technologies or anything like that. Nothing really crazy. They gave us just a better version of the 6000 series card, and they kept it at the same affordable price. Is $900 affordable? On the grand scale of things, yes, and then also technically not so much. But then there's another thing to this. Even though these cards is $1,900, yes, it's affordable in terms of high-end cards, absolutely. But the second thing to this is that for those who are looking for, who may have been looking for the more budget-oriented cards of the new series, I say that you don't need to do that. You don't need to look for the budget end of the newer cards. It doesn't make any sense. Why? Because there's so much inventory of the 6000 series cards, and a lot of the software features that was talked about today in the announcement is rolling down to the 6000 series cards as well. So if you need a budget card, grab something from the 6000 series. Grab a 6700XT for $307. Grab a 6900 or 6800 XT, if you will. And all of those is going to give you the great performance in your games, no matter what you're playing. And you're going to be able to take advantage of any sort of the new software that's coming over the next couple of months from AMD. And I also believe you'll also be able to take advantage of FSR 3.0. You won't have as many frames as these latest cards, but you'll still have the same great experience. So for me, I'm not really missing that, but there's, as other reviewers have pointed out, and rightly so, this is a bit of a change from when AMD did their 6000 series announcement. They had the full range ready to go from low to high. It wasn't just the two top cards. No, it was the high-end cards and the budget or cards. Everybody released not exactly the same time. They released the budget cards first, and then they released the high-end one a month or so later. And that worked well for a lot of people. But now with inventory being the way it is, and the market kind of not being as dire as it was before the COVID times and all that, it makes sense that they would flip back to releasing the high-end cards now and then release the budget ones a little later, whenever that is. I don't even have dates for when the cheaper 7000 series cards are going to come out. But rest assured, we will hear about those soon enough. Most likely around the same time that the FSR 3.0 is going to come, will be actually released, because I'm absolutely certain that whatever budget cards AMD is going to release going into the new year is going to need the FSR 3.0 to really shine on any game that is put on. They'll be able to put out decent numbers, but they're really going to rely heavily on that FSR 3.0 to truly put out the numbers that AMD is going to be showcasing to us, and whenever those announcements will be. So that is about it. I hope you guys are just excited or at least happy with the way that AMD has announced things. And if not, get down in the comment box. Let me know what your thoughts is about it. Or if you are and you have just other opinions about it, again, the comment box is for you. Other than that, I'll see you guys in another video. You have a good one. Bye.